What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Dialed In. Today, I'm going to be going live with a very popular guy on TikTok, Knable. Well, Steven Knable. He is a bodybuilder, a popular influencer, and we're just going to talk it out. A lot of things we want to cover today. So, wait for you guys to hop in, and we'll get it going. Wait for him to join in. And it's not like TikTok, guys, so we can talk about whatever we want without having to worry about getting, banned. So, Evolog does work. Like 15, 20 minutes before a big-ass carb-based meal, you could toss it in there. What up? All right. Wait for him to hop in here.
What's going on, man?
What's good? Hold on, let me bring this down so it's like zoomed on my forehead.
Yeah.
There we go.
Also,
all right. We're good. All right. Well, first off, thank you for hopping on. I know it's a Saturday and everybody's busy, but, thank you for taking some time out.
appreciate it.
Sure. So for people who don't know you, my half of my followers, tell us a little bit about who you are.
So I'm 24 years old. I kind of am a little bit new to the sport of bodybuilding. I've done 3 shows, but haven't really been competing that long, about 3 years. I compete in classic and bodybuilding, looking to take it as far as possible. I do a little bit on TikTok, not really that big on there, but
yeah, you should be though. There's not too many people on TikTok that I could see their video and be like, you know what? I would say that exact thing myself. There's probably only you. And there's some other guy I stumbled upon. I don't even know what his name is. He's not very big. He had 5,000 followers. Bro, this dude either says every word I say or we would just get along well. There's one of those people.
yeah, everyone says that I remind them of you. So
Hey, well, hopefully that's a good thing, hopefully. Oh, man. But all right. A couple things here. So I had a couple questions down that I just took through from my poll. So I'll go over those at some point. But if you guys have any questions along the way, feel free to drop them in. If there's any topics you want to discuss with me or whatever, if you want to talk about anything, I'm sure there's a bunch of random TikTok shit going on we could talk about. But yeah, let's just start it off. So the first question that somebody asked me, they said, how was your show prep? How did your show prep go? And just talk to us a little bit about that.
So my show prep, I kind of started off in a little bit of a worse spot because I took kind of 2 years off and I really wanted to just grow because I knew I wanted to do the open class.
Yeah.
So probably at 20% body fat. So I really just I took an 18-week prep and it kind of took me a while. There were times where I was kind of stuck and not sure why. But I think really the last 4 weeks I really came in nicely. I didn't place obviously, where I wanted, but it was kind of it was a big competitive show, right before junior nationals. So a lot of guys prepping for that. I liked my look, but obviously, placing could have been better, but
yeah, I mean, I looked at some of your stage pictures and I feel like there wasn't really anything that was just lacking that much, it wasn't anything where that guy's just that much better than you. I could see how they were this much better than you, maybe they're older probably, you said you're only 24. That's there's not that many pros, not everybody's Nick Walker at 26, So by the time you're 26, 27, you should be chilling, you got time. But do you coach yourself or do you have a coach?
No, my coach is Andrew Berry. I'm not sure if you know who he is. He's based out of Vermont. I actually went to college up there. That's how I met him.
Yeah. No, I don't. Is he a pro or just a good coach?
He's an amateur, but he does have a few pros.
Awesome.
Scott Dennis, probably. He was Olympian.
Yeah. I know him when he was with Ventura out here. Yeah.
He started with Andrew, and then I think he went to Ventura, and then now he's back with Andrew.
All right. That doesn't happen too often, but yeah, I don't know. Sometimes people go to Ventura and then leave. I don't know what it is, but
I'm not too familiar with him.
Yeah, he's out here by me in San Jose, California.
Gotcha.
All right. So let's go through these questions here, and then there's a couple other ones too. All right. What do you think about inner chest and lower lats? I'm assuming they're referring to how to build it. So what is one of your favorite inner chest exercises? What is something that you do for overall lat mass? Let's start with chest first.
We'll go chest. Honestly, I don't do too much for chest. Kind of chest is a genetic strong point for me. I really just I'll go in, I'll hit incline, bench press, and then maybe 2 or 3 sets of flies and then get out. I don't do really too much chest. As far as lats go, I think that was something that I was kind of lacking in my show prep. I do like a lot of pull down movements, you know. I actually like to set up, you know, like the row cable type thing, like I'll like set it up and then I'll go like reverse, so I'm like facing the opposite way on the lat pull down and kind of just like come down through here and really squeeze through. I like that one. I noticed that I added that in my off season and I noticed it helped a lot.
Nice. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, everybody listened to what he said first, and then branching off of that. So when it comes to inner chest, I really like the hex press. I don't know. I think that's the real, like, the actual name. We have like the two dumbbells pushed together and you're pressing it up like that. That destroys my inner chest. Yeah. And if your gym has like metal dumbbells and you can't hold them together, you can do something like just grab like a 15 or like a 10 or 25 pound plate and just press it straight up. And that destroys the middle of your chest. Like, that shit works really well.
Yeah.
All right. And then when it comes to lats though, it's one of my strengths. I build it relatively easy, and I don't know if it's because I know how to train them really well or I was just blessed with it. I don't know, but let's just assume I work for it. But yeah, lats work really well for what you said, any kind of like pull down variation. But I really like single arm dumbbell rows, but instead of just pulling, like, you know, people just pull straight up and down like they're pulling a freaking, you know, like a lawnmower. Like, I hate doing it like that, and I like pulling it in like more of like a C formation. So it's like you're bringing it up and back and doing it really slow. Like, lats need to be squeezed. They're not your middle back. You can't just start slamming hella weight. You know, you're not going to grow.
Yeah, I was always told to just pull right through the hip, kind of.
Yeah.
Hip and just squeeze. At least that's like where my lat sort of inserts. Everyone's different. I like to pull like insert is.
Yeah.
Just me personally, but.
Yeah, I think it would matter too. I mean, obviously it's genetics, and then two, I think it's like one of the main things that people like don't have on stage is like lower lats. I'm not talking about pros; they have every lat you could imagine. But at an amateur level, they all have like these really big lats right under their armpit. But then you see like the guy in the overall will have like those lower lats, or just something that just pops and just makes them stand out so much. And I wonder if it's just like they're just not targeting it, like they're just doing, you know, their regular row variations, but maybe they're not hitting their lower lat like they need to. But it could be genetic.
I feel like back is sort of a hard thing to get mind muscle connection with. At least for me, it took me like a while, and I feel like a lot of people do struggle with that.
Yeah, I agree.
You'd always feel a pump with that.
Yeah. One thing that's really helped me, just mind muscle connection in general, just specifically for back, is like I always, you know, I have like my 3 or 4 working sets or whatever, but I have like 2 additional sets typically, just super, super light, squeezing as hard as I can and just like knowing what part of the muscle I'm trying to contract. So for example, I did T-bar rows yesterday, right? And like, you know, I could handle, you know, 3, 4, 5 plates, whatever. But the first set, I only hit 1 plate, like 2 sets, just squeezing as hard as I can. So when I add my weight, I'm like, okay, I know that I need to be feeling it right here in my back. And if I don't, then I'm doing it too heavy. You know, I'm not contracting muscle I need to. So yeah. I don't know. That's what works for me personally.
I feel that. I feel like back is not something you really need to go super heavy with, rather than just like get that mind muscle connection. I remember Boston Lloyd was talking about like he used to like bent over row like 405, and then he said he just like the Smith machine with a plate, and like saw like big time growth with that, just because he was feeling everything out.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you follow with Nick Walker a lot? Like, do you watch all his content, or do you just kind of watch it occasionally?
I did, and then kind of like in prep, I didn't really like go on social media that much.
So the reason I bring that up is he was in an interview a couple weeks ago, and he was actually talking about building like back thickness. Like, how did he do it from show to show? And he said that in his first prep, like getting ready for, you know, nationals, he was barbell rowing like, you know, 315, 405 for reps. Now this particular prep, he did no more than 275. You know, he's a big ass person, so if we could do 275, and he's 3 times our size, and like he's like maybe saying like, damn, maybe you guys should be doing like 185. I do 275, and he was just saying how much more growth he got in his back when he toned down the weight and then got better reps and, you know, mind muscle connection. All right, what about doing pinch press in the Smith machine with the close grip handle? I know what you're talking about. I personally don't like it. It just doesn't feel natural to me. Have you tried that? Where like you put like the it's like the back row, whatever, like the standard rowing attachment. You put it there, and
I've done that before. I've maybe done it like once, so I can't really comment on it.
Yeah, I think I did it 2 or 3 times. Like it just didn't. It wasn't for me. Like it didn't feel right.
Very odd.
All right. Should you do squats if you have problems like osco slatters? I mean, depending on how serious your, your knee, lower back issues are, then yeah, I think you should still squat. But if it's something serious, you could always ask your chiropractor, ask your doctor, ask your physical therapist. If it's super bad, don't do it. You don't want to get hurt more.
Yeah.
All right. Greg, you're very okay. Is that Greg? He looks nothing like Greg. What? I guess talking about Greg Dussera or talking about a different Greg, but either way.
Some of my friends are probably trolling in the comments.
Oh, okay. All right. Would you rather wrestle 4 300-pound chicks or 10 100-pound dudes?
Probably 10 100-pound dudes.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'd go with that. I don't know. All right. Either way, going on. I mean, that's kind of a weird question, but what is your biggest fantasy? I don't know if I don't know what category they're talking about, but let's just say, let's go with something else. All right. No, I do have one question though. I always like asking anybody that, hops on here with me. So if you could go back in time, in your beginning of your bodybuilding career, it doesn't have to be when like you're 16, but beginning of like your competitive bodybuilding career, what is one thing that you would change and what is one thing you'd keep the same?
I think taking my off seasons more seriously.
Yeah.
It would just I would eat like 4 to 5 meals a day, but it would kind of just be like, all right, I'll do like 3 clean meals and like 2 whatever I wanted, And even the off season kind of going into this prep, I did that. And I think this off season, I'm really taking my reverse diet more seriously and, staying a little bit leaner.
Yeah.
I think I would just keep it more clean and take my off seasons more seriously and keep the same. Probably just like my training intensity. I always go in, I always, bring high intensity to the gym. I love to train. I'd probably just keep that the same.
Nice. All right. Well, I just kind of generalize it. I know I say the same thing every time, but I'll try and pick something different. So if I could go back in time, I probably wouldn't use, SARMs. I probably wouldn't use anything like that. I wouldn't use any sort of hormone without having further research. And like, I still researched it, man, probably a good 2 years before ever touching anything. And it's still like looking back now, 10 years later, I'm like, damn, I know so much more now and I could write the perfect cycle and like not have any issues. But that's probably it. Rushing into something that you don't know about, even though you think you know about it, regardless of what the topic is, but specifically hormones.
Yeah, I feel that.
When it comes to like your workout, maybe not workout split, but workout style, do you consider yourself like power builder, or are you just straight up like hypertrophy based bodybuilding just year round?
I'm a little bit of both. I feel like. I mean, I never go like in like the 5 rep range, but sometimes I'll do like 6 reps. I wouldn't consider myself a power builder, but I think I definitely lift heavier than most bodybuilders, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm actually doing a powerlifting competition in June, so.
Oh shit! Are you really?
I'm just doing it for fun. I'm not even gonna like train for it, but we'll see how it goes.
Well, I guess my best advice for that is don't get hurt. Like bodybuilding. One injury, bro, that shit sets you back. It'll set you way back.
Yeah, I'm not gonna like go, like train in the gym. I don't really want to risk injury, but I feel like it's something I've just wanted to do just to say I did it. So I'm gonna shot. Hopefully it'll give recovery time between.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like it's kind of cool to do something that's not bodybuilding. Like doesn't matter if it's powerlifting, doesn't matter if it's another hobby, but something that's not bodybuilding related, especially if we do it year round every day.
Yeah, I feel like the off season gets boring. Like when you're in prep, you're seeing changes, week to week, rather than the off season. Kind of like,
bulking is slow and competitive, like repetitive as hell. Eating 3,000 calories or 5,000 calories every day for the next 6 months. It's not something I look forward to, but I tell myself it's part of the process. So, got to suck it up. All right. For you personally, what is your goal stage weight in your next show? And what was your stage weight at this most recent show?
So my stage weight at this most recent show, I woke up at 221 the morning before weigh-ins. I had to weigh 220 to make Classic. So I didn't eat anything all day, no food, no water. I think I had like chicken. I ended up weighing like 217. Nice. I think I filled out, I was like back up into the 220s.
Yeah.
So I was right around that Classic weight. I'm not sure. I think I want to do Classic one more time. I definitely want to get an overall at least.
That'd be dope.
And then I'm probably going to take like 3 to 4 years off and stick to the open. That's probably my plans.
All right. Yeah, see, at least you have a game plan though. Like sometimes I talk to people and it's like not men's physique, but people in like classic. And you know, I don't know if you agree or not, but how do you feel about when people say like classic is like their go-to class and like that's their dream to do? Like, do you feel that not everybody is genetically gifted enough to actually do as well in classic as they think they're going to, and like they're actually bodybuilders, but they they're kind of in denial about it? Do you agree with that, or do you disagree?
I feel like a lot of times guys will just be smaller bodybuilders and do classic, and I feel like at times even the judges will reward that.
Yeah.
I show that's how I felt. Like I felt obviously, I'm not gonna go on here and complain I should have placed higher, but the guy who placed ahead of me, he said he was like 250 stage weight, whatever. He was like tall guy. Like,
as a classic, it's kind of heavy.
But he was really tall. I think he was like 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah.
But he was a big dude, but he had like a really blocky waist. And I was probably like one of the smaller guys in classic.
Yeah.
For that classic shape. And they kind of just went more with, the size and muscle maturity. So you never know what they're looking for. But I do think that like classic, should be a specific look that not everyone has.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a judge's opinion, and there's multiple judges, so they get to choose. But it's like, if someone has a big waist and they say they're classic, it's not happening. That automatically crosses classic out in my eyes. Like, that's the one thing that makes them so unique. They have the big ass quads, they got the small waist, and they have these huge ass like broad shoulders. They got the king of V taper. So it's like a men's physique with legs. That's how I see it. So if they have like a 34-inch waist, that's just a bodybuilder, bro. They just cut down. So yeah. I don't know. So when you go to bodybuilding, I know you're probably not going to go to open directly because I don't know if that's what you want to do at an amateur level, but do you think you're going to start like the lightweight or like the light heavyweight? Are you going to start there, or do you legit want to go to the super heavyweights right away?
Well, I was a heavyweight this time. I competed open as well as classic.
You did both.
Call-outs. I wasn't in the first call-outs.
Yeah.
But I'm probably just going to go to supers. That's what I plan on doing. That's probably where, like 250, 245 stage weight is kind of where I want to be at. I think that would be, a solid place, especially at my height. I'm like 6'1". So
yeah, I'm 6'1" too. So we have to be pretty goddamn big. You want to be 250 on stage?
250 on stage, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a good 290 in the off season. A good 285.
Take a while, but I'm willing to wait.
Yeah, I mean it's a good goal to have. Like, I mean, sometimes I tell people it's like, yeah, it's cool. You want to like go do a show right away, but it's like you're always gonna wonder, what if I would have bulked an extra year? Like how much more competitive would I would have been? So I don't know. It's cool. It's cool. You're gonna wait though. And I mean, at some point, if you want to do like a mini cut and like just hop into a show and see what you look like, you could. But if not, wait it out. Go straight to open. All right. What is your favorite muscle group to train?
Probably either chest or shoulders. They kind of go. I kind of do them together sometimes, so they kind of go hand. I just like chest pressing heavyweight. That's probably my favorite.
Everybody loves benching, bro. That's probably the first thing we learn. Like benching and curling. That's like what men learn like at like 16. All right. So yeah, you like chest and shoulders. I'd say, I don't know. I really like shoulders and I really like lats. They're two of my most gifted body parts, and they're both like the ones I feel the most, and they probably go hand in hand for that reason. But yeah, just lats and delts is like my go-to. All right. Would you rather fight yourself now or two of yourself at 18?
Probably two of myself at 18. I was like,
we're probably like 160, 170. I'll take two of those. All right. Are you single?
Am I single? I am, yes.
Well, me too. There we go. All right. Ladies, slide in our DMs. Let's go. What are these comments? All right. Do you guys know any great tech support? Oh, what is your job? I didn't ask you that. Do you work in tech support? Is that the joke?
I'm actually in law school right now.
Are you?
Yeah. So that's.
You want to be a bodybuilding lawyer?
Yeah, that's the plan. It's kind of a weird combo, but it keeps me like structured. I feel like law school, just having like that plan where I do my work and like, go through prep. It keeps me like really structured rather than if I had like more free time in the day, working like a 9 to 5, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Working a 9 to 5 and still want to be a competitive bodybuilder. It's doable. It's not that great though. You might be sacrificing some quality gains there. What up, Jalen? Sorry, I didn't see you there earlier, bro. What up, Taryn? Okay. All right. Do you have an idea what weight you're going to try and go for at the powerlifting meet?
I probably, since I'm going to compete in November for Classic again, I'll probably say like 250.
Okay.
50, then probably not even. I mean, I'm like 240 right now, so maybe like 10 more pounds.
Right. So we're going to see an 800-pound deadlift is what I'm hearing. Let's do.
I haven't been deadlifting. That's one thing I got to start doing for this meet.
Yeah. Well, one question, you don't have to answer it. I mean, you can just say yes or no, but when you do the powerlifting meet, are you going to like peak for it and really go for it, like PED wise? Like, are you going to peak and do everything that you would the same way like a competitive one, or do you just gonna
probably be on a cruise at that point? Yeah.
175 tests and do it. That's fine. I was just curious if you were like the last 2 weeks you're gonna be like, hell yeah, I'm going all in. You know, start popping 10 Anadrol and shit. All right. What advice would you give to teenage bodybuilders and or teenage athletes?
Be patient, be consistent. Don't miss your meals. Don't miss training sessions. I really just think consistency is the biggest thing. You know, someone that goes 80%, you know, for 10 years is going to beat that guy that goes 100% for a year. So,
yep. You know who said those exact words? I mean, he worded it differently, but Breon. So somebody asked Breon the other day, like, because I thought Breon was like 30. You know, I didn't realize he was like 45 or whatever he is. Breon's old.
That
and
old?
I was like, I had no idea, you know? And like when they interviewed him, he said the same thing. He's like, consistency. He's like, I never maxed out the drugs. I never maxed out the, you know, training. I never like maxed out whatever 1 rep max is like. I did the bare minimum plus more and did that over time. He's like just consistently getting better year to year. And I was like, that makes sense. The same rule applies to really anybody. But when you're a teenager, guys, someone in high school, or maybe even you're in college and like you're still coming up through the ranks and whatnot, you can't just, you can't hop in a bunch of gear. You can't expect results overnight. Like it's getting your meals in, getting your training in, getting your sleeping in, and doing that day after day for years. Like, you know, I don't know how long you've been doing it, but before I got hurt, it would have been my 10th year of training. And like, I did the same thing every day for damn near 10 years. It doesn't change, you know?
Yeah. I think a lot of people are, especially kids with like social media now, are concerned about lean. Don't be afraid to bulk. Don't be afraid to get a little fluffy. You know, the stage will always be there. I feel like people rush on stage also because they think it'll help them with like social media.
Yes. And until they get last place and they're like, oh shit, I probably should have waited. All right. Hold on. Cook. I can't read that. All right. Okay. If the judge isn't convinced with the case, all right. Can a cheat meal help in weight loss plateau? Do you want to talk about how you had cheat meals or refeed days in your prep?
Yeah, 100%. So, like I said, there was a time where I was kind of stalling. I was like 225 for like probably like 3 weeks. And we were like, we're either not pushing hard enough or need to add more food in. So we did about like, I think 3 days of 300 carbs. And after that, I dropped like right down to like 222. And that's kind of where I hung around. But yeah, I think it could definitely, you know, boost the metabolism. Like I said, you need to, you know, it's 1 or 2 options. You're either not pushing hard enough or you need a refeed.
All right. So for your refeed day, I know you said 300 gram days. Is that what you said?
Yeah, it was about 300 carbs.
All right. So when you did that, was any of it junk food or did that come from just straight up clean sources of food?
Only clean sources. I didn't have a cheat meal the whole prep. I don't like having them. I would rather just keep my diet clean. I feel like if I get a taste of it, you know, it's going to be worse than just...
Yeah. So for my clients, that's starting like 16 weeks out. I usually let them have one like every other week, somewhere around there, like really, really early on. But once we hit about 8 weeks out, they get none. It's not even up for debate, you know?
I was allowed to have them. I just chose not to personally.
Yeah. But it does happen though. I've seen even just like lifestyle clients, I'll let them have a cheat meal every once in a while, or like I'll have one planned for them, and they'll get it and they'll hit me up the next day like, yo, I binged eat all day. You know, like I get them on Saturday and they're like, yeah, well, I had some leftovers on Sunday. And I was like, you know what? I already messed them. Let me go all day. Like, no, that's not how it works, you know? Oh, man. All right. This is my favorite podcast for oh, nice. Well, they like it so far, bro. They like it so far. We're not even halfway done, but all right. All right. This is a good topic, though. I did want to discuss with you because I know you're on TikTok with me. So what do you think about all these teenagers, specifically like that 14 to 17 range, like that early on range, hopping on SARMs, PDs, whatever, and not just hopping on it, physically documenting it and like showing and encouraging others to do it as well. How do you feel about that? What do you think is causing it?
I think it's social media personally.
Yeah.
I think times have kind of changed. Wants this quick fix. Everyone just wants to be famous on social media. You know, this is how I see it. I see these kids, especially on TikTok, with average physiques blowing up just because like the algorithm or whatever pushes it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kids are like, damn, like I can be like that. So it kind of forces them to, you know, want a quicker fix almost to get there.
Yeah.
And like a lot of it is like if you post like a SARM video or whatever, like a 14-year-old, you always see it has like a ton of views on it.
Oh, every time. Every time.
I feel like it's attention and, you know, a quick fix. That's how I see it.
So from my point of view, I agree with everything you said. So from my point of view, I think it's almost like how a lot of adults try and pretty much kill themselves to compete at a show nowadays. Like they'll run every compound under the moon, right? Under the sun to do it. Now they do it because they want to hop on stage. They think they're going to, you know, turn pro. They're going to get famous and get all these endorsements. So like, I almost feel like they're trying to do that, but at a younger age without competing. They're trying to get on gear, trying to get this crazy teenager, you know, new Dyel'd look or something, right? And then what happens? Like they give up because they built their physique on gear. They get on PCT. They're small as hell. They have no more gains. It's like nothing happened. No sponsorship wants you. So sometimes on TikTok, like I can only say some of my sponsors. I'm sponsored by, you know, Evogen. And it's like, if they ask me, like, what do you think about this guy? I'm going to be like, hell no. I don't want him on the team with me. Hell, him? The 16-year-old kid saying he's on SARMs? No. So it's like, you know, it's not going to help you. Internet's forever, guys. And like, they don't realize it, but it's not much you can do, guys. I know that social media is changing, but I don't know. Yeah, Sush and Ben Dunn definitely had a role in it. Ben Dunn's was a bit different. Sush is a bit more open about it. I don't dislike the kid. It's cool that he made a living doing whatever the hell he's doing, you know, social media wise, but kind of similar to like him and Johnny Skywalker, like posting their dosages, posting what they're doing. Like it's not okay when your audience is like 14 to 19. Like a lot of people are very gullible would be the word, right? But
one thing to be open about it, and it's one thing to, you know, write out what you're doing. And I don't know how I feel about that, because at the same time, like if you give dosages and let's say it is a safe dosage, like if they're going to get their hands on it, they might get it regardless. At least they have a baseline to sort of, you know, see what's an appropriate cycle. But you see some of these guys out here running like a shit ton, and you know, and these kids are like, oh, I'm going to take all this, and then, you know, they end up with like liver failure.
Yeah, I don't know who the guy is. I'm trying to think. He's not a super big. He has like 50, 60K. He's not Sush. He's not any of them. But he's like, he has some like super luxury car. Either way, whatever. But like he posts a cycle every day. He's, oh, I'm in prep. I'm running 300 trend, 300 Mastro, this much Arimidex, this much K-Bar. So he's like putting his like prep cycle online, and like he's getting all these views. And like that doesn't bother me. If you're gonna do it, that's your life. I don't care. I mean, it sucks, but it's when I go to his comments and people are like talking about the best sources, how to run it, their PCT, like where should they get it? And I was like, bro, like clean up your comments, like read these comments. He's like, oh, sorry, bro, I should probably read these. I was like, there's literally a 16-year-old kid saying, oh, I just turned 16. I just bought Tran. I only have one bottle. How do I run it? I'm like, oh my God, bro. it's so mind blowing, bro. I don't know. I just don't understand.
I just keep on scene. Like I'm not gonna tell you what to do or, you know, what I take.
Yeah. Leave it at you're not natural and keep it moving. That's the most I'll ever say. that's the most. All right. Do you guys think Alex Eubank has a solid physique? Yeah, I don't think he ever plans to compete. Last time I talked to him, I mean, I talked to him today, but that was about something else. But I don't think he plans to compete. I think he just wants to be like that influencer, have like a dope lean physique year round. So like he's more of like the influencer than competitor. So he's cool for what he's doing. Yeah, that's fine. All right. What's more aesthetic, Classic Physique now or just giving 0 time? Oh, okay. Got you. So how do you feel about open bodybuilding, you know, like the Arnold era versus Classic Physique now? Do you think it's like carrying over well, or do you think it's not the same?
Obviously the conditioning is a lot better now.
They're shredded.
Yeah. I mean, it's not the same, you know, drug protocols change, training protocols, nutrition, all that.
Yep.
like Arnold probably wouldn't even get his pro card with the physique he brought. Obviously, you know, if he had I had now, I think he would be, you know,
Yep.
good. But I think they were just softer back then. I personally like the new hard look.
Yep.
But I think they were a little bit softer back then and, you know, a little bit smaller, obviously.
I don't know if I agree with people when they say, like, you know, the 70s, they were so much more aesthetic. They were so much more like, there was a lot less bodybuilders then than there are now. You know, I bet there was probably like 300 bodybuilders at that time, like 200 or something. And now it's like we have 200 in every city all over the world. It's like we have thousands of bodybuilders competing every weekend. And it's like, it's just different. That's why people are so much bigger now, because the people who are the best are the ones who make it to the pros and then continue raising up. But I do agree. Not all of them were hard and grainy like they are now. And obviously it's because we use a lot more anti-estrogens. We have a lot more hardening agents, all the new science now. But it's like, it's such a crazy look to see these people in person. It's like they're aliens, you know, and they didn't have that back then. They had Test, D-ball, DECA. You know, they didn't have all the crazy extra orals that we have now. All right. Do you think Nick Walker has the O in the bag? I'll let you answer that.
No, but I do think he could place top 10.
I agree.
He really probably not top 5. I don't know. I like, you know, obviously Rami, Rolly, Bonac, even Hunter Labrada, I feel like is ahead of him. I feel like he could sneak into the top 5 this year.
Yeah, Hunter, that new generation of bodybuilders in all categories, like this new generation coming up that are in like their mid 20s, you know, 26 to 30, like there's some good guys in every category. Women too. It's like the next generation of bodybuilding in the next 3 to 5 years is going to be like way up here. They're just not there yet, but you know, a couple of years, it's going to be great.
There's no one that's like really like, you know, like we had Phil Heath, you know, who wins 8 in a row. I feel like it's going to go like back and forth a lot of these next few years. So
yeah, I think that if Big Ramy, you know, I know like Chad and him, like hopefully they got everything down to a science now. They know what he needs. I think that if he can just continue to get drier and drier every year, it's going to be so hard to compete with that type of mass. It'll just be impossible, you know? Like I'm sure like there's someone who's going to be more aesthetically pleasing, like a Sean Roden or something that might come out of nowhere, but he's just so goddamn big, you know? Like how do you beat that?
yeah, hopefully, like, you know, if they nail, they figure out how to nail his condition and everything, you know, it's going to be hard to beat. I feel like on 100%, nobody's going to beat him, but
yeah, but you never know. Like he was always off every other show. It's just he nailed this one.
Yeah.
All right. Can you explain when you hop on gear during a prep, when you hop off? I've always been curious about that. I don't want to dive too much into it, you know, like I'll speak generally about it, but I'll just tell you what most of my competitor friends would do. Now, on prep is typically when they use the most, you know, compounds in general, whether it's test, trend, master, whether it's or whatever they're doing. They typically like put all their health on the line in show prep. And then the second they are done with prep and it's their off season, they keep it very minimal. They stick with pretty much testosterone for the rest of the year, or they, you know, get off detox for the rest of the year. So show prep is the one time a year that I would say is the most dangerous, is when the people are abusing the most compounds, because you have a date, like this day I have to look good or else. So I don't want to dive too much deeper into compounds and whatnot. I just want to talk about it generally.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Are you on TRT for life, or are you, I know you're only 24, but are you on TRT for life, or you're
I haven't come off since I've started. So I'd imagine if I did, I would be able to, you know, have normal levels. I've only been on for about a year.
Yeah.
But I probably will be.
You've been on a year though, but like in your 20s. It'd be different if you were on a year at like 18. You know, it's a big gap.
Yeah.
So you might come back, but it might be stuck at like 300 or something. But you'd have to see if you even cared to do it. All right. What is a good way to build discipline for the bodybuilding lifestyle?
I feel like you either have it or you don't.
Yeah.
At least for me, it was kind of, maybe not. You know, when I first started, I was like, I always lifted weights kind of, but I didn't like diet. Like when I first started, and I was like, man, I could never, you know, I want to do a show, but I don't think I could ever diet. I feel like kind of just like set yourself to it and maybe, you know, get through that diet for like 2 to 3 weeks. It becomes a habit. That's how at least it works for me. But at the end of the day, I feel like some people are just able to do it and others cave. It's something you're born with, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's really no nicer way to word it than that. You know, I try to tell even like my own clients or, you know, anybody who DMs me, it's like they always ask like, how do I boost my motivation? How do I get like that killer instinct to like get in prep? And it's like, for some of us, like it's easy. Like, it's just like we flip a switch and like we're good. Like we know it's prep time. We know like we got to do what we got to do. And some people don't have that. They don't have the discipline. They don't have the self-control that like their girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever, their family member eating cake in front of them. They can't say no. Not everybody has that. So, I mean, the easiest way would be you do a show, you get your ass kicked, and you will be very humbled. You will not cheat again after that one experience. You know, I was joking, but like that could be a thing. All right. How good Arnold look if he's there's no way to know that, man. Like how good would Arnold look if we had the science that we have nowadays? Like how would we know? It's not really.
Everyone uses different compounds too. There's guys out there, you know, using half of, you know, there's guys using half of what, you know, amateur men's physique guy uses, you know. You know.
That's true. Now, one quick example of that, or just you know, asking you about the topic. So I can't really say what it is, but it's one of my good friends in, you know, the men's physique Olympia, right? And I was going over a cycle with him. This was last year before the Olympia. And like, I was actually shocked. He sent me a cycle and I was critiquing it because we're just good friends. And I was like, yeah, I mean, this makes sense. I was like, so is this for you? This is for like one of your clients or something? Like, why is it so little? And like, when I say little, I'm talking like 300 tests, 300 masterone. Like, this is one of the best in the world. And like, the doses were so like average. And I was like, wait, that guy's running 700 masterone. This guy's running 1,000. Why are you on 300 and you're like one of the best ever, right? He's like, I don't need that much. Why would I take it? And like, I was like, no, I'm not trying to offend you. I was like, I just don't know why you're not taking much. He's like, I literally don't need it. You know, like when I take more, I get more side effects. So I want to take the most minimal amount, get the best results possible, and have no side effects. It's like, you know what? You're right. sorry, I assumed you ran a gram, you know?
My coach was saying the same thing, sort of. So he has like a really big bodybuilder client. I'm not going to say his name. And he was like, everyone's like, oh, when are you going to get me on the so-and-so cycle? You know what I mean? Like, I'm ready for this.
Yes, they worded exactly like that, bro. Like, oh, you coach him? What's he running? I want to run what he's doing.
He's like, all right, so for your test by 500 milligrams. Like,
yes, you're going to run 500 tests. All right, so is that per day or oh, it's per week? Oh, okay. Yeah, I just don't think people understand that, like, you know how we have genetics for how we respond to food, how we respond to training, everything, right? Like, those same rules apply to anabolics or PEDs or medications. Like, we all have different genetics. Some of us respond better than others. You know, I can only speak for myself, but I pretty much tried everything at some point or another and got zero side effects from all of it except high blood pressure.
Yeah.
Versus one of my friends tried Tren. You know, he was pissing dark brown. His blood pressure was like 180. He had anxiety. He couldn't sleep. He got every side effect versus, you know, maybe me, I just had high blood pressure and that's it. And it's like, we're so different, you know, like how can, you know, I could probably run 700 Tren and he runs 200 and he has a panic attack, but you know, I don't know. All right. How do I know if I have good genetics? That's kind of hard to say. Subjective. You know, there's not really a way to know.
All
right. Well, while we wait for a couple other questions, did you have any question for me or any topics that like you want to discuss, like me and you? Anything?
I kind of like am interested in like getting into coaching seriously, more like show prep clients. I don't think I'm like ready for, you know, someone who uses PEDs. Like obviously a natural client. I actually have some that are natural. I feel like the dieting and training is easy, but more like just understanding like, you know, what compounds work for certain things, and you know, I study a bit more on that. But I wouldn't feel confident in it. Just like, you know, maybe how you, was it just like trial and error for you, or you learned through like books?
Yeah, so a mixture of both. So you know, I wrote this a couple months ago. I wrote a book on it. Like I have a whole ass PED book if you haven't seen that. You know, so you might want to read that. It might help you like the basics, right? That covers everything. But when it comes to show prep, I mean, I'm lucky enough to be in the Bay Area, Northern California, where we literally have the top 3 best coaches in the world. Like they're 3 of the best. We have Ventura, Cuts, Fidelis, and sorry if I'm missing one, but there's another good coach. And like we just have some of the best coaches ever. So it's like if I had a question, you know, I do have the ability to ask them, you know, or like even my own coach. So my old coach was Team Giles. he was coached by Team Ventura. He was one of Team Ventura's very first pros. So he's been taught by Ventura for the last however many years. So when I got taught all different types of PDs, training, cardio, everything, it was from the Ventura style. So I guess you could say, like, I learned from whatever that style is, which you see how great his athletes turn out. They're absolute freaks. And like, when I look at his things, like this, the simplest way I could say it is like, you always start at the bare minimum, you know, like you don't need to give someone 500-600 milligrams of tren, you know, when you could do something easy with like test, master own, primo. Like you want to always start on the very, very minimal side. And you also have to understand that if they get hurt, no matter what, even if it's their fault, you're going to take the blame for it. So I don't take very many show prep clients. I have a ton of lifestyle clients because they you know, they're just changing their life. They're not stepping on stage. So we're not using any kind of crazy compound. But when it comes to competitors, I have to make sure I know their health history. I want to see their blood work. I want to see their mom and dad's freaking, you know, gene pool, you know, all this crazy shit. Because like, let's say I do get a client on Clan and he has a freaking heart attack. Who's going to get blamed? Him? No, it's going to be my fault because I didn't know, you know, and he has a heart valve issue or something. So I would just say that if you do want to go down that path and you're going to give diuretics, PD advice, anything like that, you need to know about that person and like have them take it very serious versus like a lot of coaches I know, you know, lower tier coaches, they have a pre-made 16-week cycle and they give it to everybody who signs up. And it's like, if they want to use it, they can. If they don't, they don't. And it'll be like test and Deca for like whatever crazy ass dose. That'll be test, trend, master, Winnie, Halo, all this. And I'm like, what if this dude had never even used PEDs before and you just gave him this crazy 16-week stack, you know? So I know I extended this answer probably more than what you wanted, but like I tried to break down like the basics. You have to understand that what you're getting yourself into, if you want to do it full time like me, you have to know that there's a lot of liability involved.
Yeah, it's more like I know what works for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think just, you know, applying it to other people, it's just something I wouldn't be ready for yet.
Yeah, I would say if you have a really good friend that you trust and you know, you know, if they get hurt, they're not going to blame you. But like, I would coach one of your good friends for free through a whole entire show prep. Right? Do it for free. Maybe like a best friend or family member. And like, if they wanted to use PEDs, try and keep it on the bare minimum side, of course. But it's like you could experiment with that if they felt safe doing it. You know, like that's obviously that's kind of bad advice and good advice. But you know what I'm trying to say? Like, you'd have to do someone that you trust and that, you know, they trust you. You wouldn't be able to be like, this guy hit me up on IG. He wants me to coach him. I'm going to give him everything and test on him. Like, it's not, if he gets hurt, you're going down. And that's, you know, that's not what you want. All right. All right. All right. Why do you flat bench at all?
Well, I'm going to have to for the powerlifting competition, but
That's true. I forgot about that.
I did in the off season until I kind of felt like a little tweak in my pec. I was just like, you know what, it's not worth it, especially, you know, when it's like weight, you know, like 365, you know, I feel like it's just a reward there. You can do the same thing with machines or dumbbells. But younger guys, you know, it's not like the most, you know, you don't need to bench to build a big chest, but, you know, it is a good chest builder. It's relatively safe, especially if you're like a natural athlete too.
Yeah. I think the biggest mistake that I see when it comes to flat bench, and especially I see it at my gym too, I'm sure you see it at your gym too. And like, you'll see someone come in the gym and what's the first thing they do? Like on chest day, they skip cardio. So they're not even warmed up. They don't do any rear delts. They don't do any, you know, cable work, anything. They don't do any warm up. And you see them go straight to the flat bench, toss on a 45-pound plate, start repping it. It's like, bro, where's the warm up? Where's the loosening the rotator cuffs? Like, where's all that work at, you know? And it's like, I don't know where that came from, but I still think that you could get a much bigger chest or a better mind muscle connection with like a hammer strength, with an incline dumbbell bench press, with a flat dumbbell bench press, some sort of variation like that. I was a powerlifter from 16 to 19. And I really didn't have that big of a chest. I was just strong as shit.
Yeah.
And then when I cut it and switched to dumbbells, like, whoa, I'm going some tits, bro. This shit's nice. You know? So
strength and size, you know, goes hand in hand a little bit, but it doesn't necessarily.
Yeah, it's not 100% related. I get what you're saying though. It's related, but it's not. You know, you can be strong and not big, but you still need to be building strength and progressive overload to build some muscle.
Explained it.
Yeah, pretty much that. I know what you're trying to say. Okay, have you ever suffered from depression, bodybuilding wise, not outside of bodybuilding?
just in like the state of bodybuilding, no, I've always enjoyed bodybuilding. I feel like it more keeps me sane than
Yeah.
hurts me. I haven't really, if anything, drugs either hasn't really affected like my mood or anything like that. I know like some people do get affected.
Oh yeah. Oh, so yeah.
I was lucky with that.
So I know this is kind of backtracking back to your original question you asked me. That would be one thing you have to look out for, because even if they don't have the side effects like organ health, all that, you still have to worry about the mental aspect that it can cause people. Because tren, halo, certain compounds that people lose their mind. It changes them. Tren will change you long term. That shit changes your freaking brain's DNA. That's a given. But like just the way it affects you short term, you gotta be ready for that as a coach.
Have you ever heard of ethyl tren?
Yes, never tried it, but I know what it is.
I've never tried. I hear that is something that like makes people go like super.
Yeah. So if you're not, for those of you who aren't familiar with it, every anabolic has an ester to it. So it pretty much means it's gonna, I guess you could say, absorb quickly or long. So for example, testosterone, let's just say Tren-Ace, it's in your system in and out like 48 hours. It's in there pretty quick. Absorbs quick. You have to inject it very often. Now you switch to something like Tren-E or a long-acting Tren. You could inject it once a week. You should inject it twice a week, but you're not injecting it 5-6 days a week because it lasts so long. Now, when you take like a test suspension or methyl Tren or just something like that that's in and out of your system, it's very popular in football, very popular in MMA, boxing, anything that can make you into like a crazy beast for like 45 minutes to an hour. That's what they use it for. Imagine feeling no pain and feeling you have rabies for an hour. It would be quite deadly to be using that in a UFC fight, right? You feel no pain, you want to kill somebody. So I personally wouldn't use it because it's one of the most toxic things you could put in your body, but it does have benefits in certain sports, which, there's a reason why football players are so crazy trying to rip each other's heads off, but.
Yeah, I know in baseball, I played college baseball. A lot of people test suspension. That was like one of the most common.
It's like shooting crystals in your body. That shit would hurt. They did it so they could pass the drug check?
Yeah, it's in and out of your system. How I think the NCAA works is they'll kind of only test for like one specific drug, because it's like, especially I only play D2, so like at that level it's expensive. So they'll usually just like test like your test levels or something like that, or just for like one specific compound. So in and out of your system so fast, you do a detox and you pass the test.
Yeah, so I played D2 for a little bit too. I went to Cal State East Bay in Northern California. So yeah, so for our team or just the team in general, it's like they got tested, but out of D2, it was just random. They'd be like, yo, so in 2017, volleyball is getting tested. 2018, baseball is getting tested. It wasn't like D1 where every sport gets tested. Like every random sport team would get tested once a year.
Yeah.
And like baseball could have been not tested the last 3 years, but they got tested this year. So they tested it my senior year, and like 3 players got popped for DMAA, because like DMA pre-workouts were all over the place. So what came up was like ephedrine or like some sort of amphetamine. So they had to physically bring the bottom and be like, yo, I'm not cheating. I took this pre-workout, and they had to like retest.
Really?
So they check for some wild shit. It's just like, if it's not, street drugs, they might not care. All right. What is your favorite vegetable to have during prep?
I like spinach. I feel like it digests well and it's kind of high in volume. I just like especially when I'm low on carbs, I'll just do like a chicken salad, like chicken and spinach, make it into a little salad. Tastes good.
Super basic. All right. Yeah, I switch. I get bored eating like tilapia and chicken every day, so it's like I kind of like have fun through green. So I might do like lettuce, spinach, broccoli, asparagus, green beans. I just rotate, some to switch it up. But broccoli causes pretty bad gas, not like fart gas, like actual gas in your stomach can make you feel extremely bloated and not hungry. So some people actually use it to that benefit, but I don't like the way that broccoli makes me feel. But, all right. Yeah, if you guys have any more questions or topics, I don't want to hold them here all night, but maybe like 10, 15 more minutes, we'll finish off with that. And then if you have any questions for me about anything too, like I coach for a while now. If you have any questions about that, if you want to start doing it full time, I'm down to answer whatever.
What about you, like competing? You have any plans to compete soon, or?
Yes and no. So if you don't, I don't know if you know my like history of how I got hurt. Did you know that or no?
No, I'm not sure.
Okay, so yeah, I'll just tell you a 30-second summary. So I competed last in 2018. The first week, it was like either the last week of 2018 or the first week 2019, whatever, like a while ago. I was squatting and I slipped. I was in prep. I was like 16 weeks out from nationals. So I slipped squatting like 405. So heavy as shit.
Yeah.
And when I slipped, I got crushed. Like it messed up my neck, back, all that. And like, that wasn't really the problem. So it wasn't really like the pain aspect of it. I had these really weird lingering effects that like was affecting me like cognitive wise, like vision, hearing, like everything was like super like out of whack and I couldn't figure out what it was. So I couldn't work for like, there was probably like 2 months. I was like, man, like I'm so dizzy all the time. Like everything's messed up. So I saw 25 doctors, 27 doctors, somewhere in that range, all of 2019. And then they finally found out that like I did these crazy damage to like these nerves in my neck that are like responsible for, you know, my cognitive function, you know, how you think, how you know, focus, right? So I couldn't train all of 29. I didn't touch a weight 2019. So I went from like my biggest ever at 245 with abs to 200 in a matter of a year. Now, fast forward to 2020, they told me there was no surgery they could do to fix it. It was just waiting. Like I had to wait. There's nothing they could do to fix it. So fast forward to 2020, I was just sitting at home and like I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna start training at home. You know, I have nothing else to do. I'll be on TikTok and I'll train at home. So I started getting home weights, started working out, and it was like, it wasn't the same. You know, I still got dizzy here and there, but it was like it was doable. And then the gyms weren't open yet. We were in lockdown. So COVID hit. I was like, God damn it. And I'm feeling better and like COVID hits. So fast forward to 2021, I'm like 70% good. I still feel off sometimes because I have damage to my neck and nerves forever, but it is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it. So if I do compete, it's tough. I can't shrug. I can't do anything that could potentially move my traps because like it's connected to the part that's injured. So I think my physique will not be as dope as what it should be, you know, and that's really it. So I don't know. Oh, sorry. And I missed the major part. I got diagnosed with an autoimmune disease in the middle of that injury in 2019. And I found out that I had something similar to CBOM. So I have like a 85% working immune system. So yeah, it was a bad time. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So that's my life story. Thank you for letting me rant, everybody. Now you know if you didn't already know. But yeah, I don't know. It gave me time. I read every single day about PEDs, bodybuilding. I spent money on all my favorite coaches for phone consultations. I interviewed anybody I could all of 2019, 2020, just learning and building my brand. And like, I lucked out, you know, like now it's like I have like 40 clients all over the world and like I keep getting more and more by the day. So it was a blessing and a curse at the same time, depending on how you look at it. But, you know, so yeah, that's life. I don't know if I'm going to compete again, but I'll try. We'll see.
For sure. Yeah. Before I was kind of on TikTok for a while, but I didn't really like post anything. And I would always see you like pop up on my For You page. So I'm like, this guy knows what he's talking about, which was rare on there. So
yeah. I think that's how I built my reputation first. Cause like I originally went viral, like in the beginning, I had my one client who did this like 2-year natural transformation. It was like, it's pretty fucking epic. So like that was like the first video that got hundreds of thousands of views and like everybody came to me for like fitness tips, right? So like, it kind of started from there and I was like, man, like I don't want to be that guy who puts out stupid shit for like clout. Like I don't want that. I want to like talk about things that I enjoy and help other people do. So that, and you have the similar thing. Like you don't post bullshit. I don't remember the last time I ever saw you post something that like wasn't helpful, you know, or like roasting someone that actually deserved it, you know, something like that.
I feel like there's not. And I feel like at the same time, like you were able to grow your brand doing that.
Yeah.
I think that's not like what the people want to see, kind of, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sure if I put like, I don't want to say pranks, but like just random content or like, I don't know, talk about SARMs or talk about drugs or talk about everything that like would get views or natty or nots, things like that. I'm sure I would have 100,000 more followers if I did that, but I'd much rather have like a loyal 100,000 that like actually care about what I have to say than like some random kid that likes my natty or not video. Like, I don't care about that. How's that benefiting me? You know? Yeah. So we may grow slower, but at least our fan base is going to be loyal as hell. That's how I look at it.
True.
All right. Y'all looking good? Yep. Is that Dwayne Johnson? Yep. All right. What would you say, who is your idol when it comes to like bodybuilding? Do you have anybody you look up to, or do you just have like a favorite athlete in general or athletes?
Russell Westbrook, actually. I know he's not a bodybuilder, but just like sort of his mentality and his, you know, that kind of like Kobe too, like that, Mamba mentality. I definitely looked up to that. I played basketball growing up also. But probably from a bodybuilding, like physique standpoint, like Hunter is probably like, I know I'll probably never look like that, but
Yeah,
like
his shape is like unattainable to most of us. Yeah, but it's still a good goal to have.
Yeah.
It's bad. At least you didn't say like Big Ramy. Like that's my favorite athlete. Not that I ever want to look like that, but it's like it's pretty much unattainable. But let's see here. I feel like there's another question I want to ask you. Yeah, here's a good question. I'll try and word it in the most easy way. But as you get into open, are you scared about what it is you have to do to get to that level? I don't know if you 100% know what goes on behind the scenes, open or bodybuilding as you rise up, but is that something that you're scared of doing, or do you not care?
I definitely don't think I'll ever use insulin. It's just something that one shot, wrong dose, you're dead. That's just something like I'm not willing. I'm not willing to die for it, if that makes sense.
Yes.
But as far as like, I think I responded pretty well to PEDs because I did my first show in Classic 2 years ago. I was 100% natural. I was like 190 on stage. And then I took 2 years off and only did PEDs for about probably like 6 months before. And I was 30 pounds heavier on stage in better condition. So I felt like I had a pretty good response to it. So I feel at least personally, I might not need to use as much as some of the other guys just because, basing off, it's only been a year, but basing it off that. But, who knows in the future, honestly.
Yeah. The main thing too is like insulin. Yeah. I mean, the concept is scary. It does have actual benefits, not even the muscle building, like in terms of not turning yourself diabetic when you're having 800,000 carb days, like that's fine. But I'd have to say insulin's taking over all categories. The amount of men's physique guys that I know on insulin now, it started in, do you remember when Jeremy Bonilla came out 2017? How just he blew everybody away and he looked like an alien? Do you remember that? Yeah. So that's when it started happening. Insulin over the counter became legal. Like you could go right now and go buy insulin at the over the counter. Like anybody can. So that started in like early or mid 2018, and every bodybuilder got their hands on it because it was legal now. And just everybody started blowing up. And that's when you look at men's physique, how the change from 2016 to 2017 to 2018 is all the way over here. They are aliens now. So that's one of the biggest things.
A lot of guys use, like, even guys that I know, like, personally at, like, the amateur level use, like, Nolotol and Synthol also. I would never do that.
I mean, yes, I mean, I wouldn't do it because I don't care to go that far in my career, but like maybe for you, if you had to, it's very popular in like your rear delts and like I don't know, like your rear delts and maybe like your tricep or something like that, like small amounts.
Yeah.
Shit, it's about to hang up on us in 2 minutes. So we will finish off right here. All right. So either way, we'll finish off before it shuts down. I can't give her a proper goodbye. So first off, thank you for hopping on. Maybe we'll have to do this again sometime. It seems like a lot of people liked it. We can have an actual educated conversation and, not argue about anything. So it's pretty good.
For sure. 100%. Appreciate you, having me on.
Of course. Do you have any sponsors or anything? Anything you want to shout out? Any promo codes or anything?
No, I don't. I'm not sponsored by anyone.
It's got to change, bro. You got to get some sponsorship. Start funding your bodybuilding career.
Sure, for sure. Hopefully, if anyone's watching this.
All right. I'll see what I can do.
Appreciate it.
But all jokes aside, man, thank you for taking time out of your day. I know it's a Saturday, and thank you to everybody who's still in here. And I'm going to post this later, so if you guys want to rewatch it when you're doing some cardio or something, that's fine too. But all right, guys, have a good night.
Take care, man.
All right, thanks, bro. All right, guys, later.